Black Friday games under $15. This is the second video on my Black Friday series of games. Yesterday we published $20 games, today is $15 games. Who knows what tomorrow is gonna be? It's gonna be $10 games. Don't forget to leave a like on this video so that the algorithm can continue to recommend these videos to you, because if you don't leave a like and you're not subscribed, who knows if you'll even see this. We are covering off a bunch of Black Friday stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below which other retailers you would like me to cover off from a Black Friday perspective. If there's other stores or things you want me to do that's not just the PlayStation store, I would really love to know about it in the comment section down below. All right, $15 and under game deals. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now this, I don't know about this one. I think it should probably be cheaper than $15 at this point, because it is like 3 years old, but it's still a really solid action adventure game. The thing about these ones is like they're normally a $60 game, so when they come down to like 15 bucks, it's good, but it's like, could it be better? Well, yeah, it could always be better, of course, right? This one here, a good action adventure game if you like Assassin's Creed. It's quite different to the original Assassin's Creed around Origins a couple of years back, and they've all kind of moved more from this like stealth assassin game to more of a third person, very much action RPG light style game. This is the same as that. The world is bloated and obnoxiously big, but the gameplay and the game itself is pretty fun. So, you know what you're getting in for with a game like this. You know you're getting a decent quality game. And as much as everyone knocks Ubisoft, they do tend to publish games at a pretty decent clip with pretty good quality behind them as well. Borderlands 3 PS4 and PS5 edition. So you're getting 2 games with this one here. I've been telling people to hold off buying Borderlands for a few months now, because I felt that Borderlands 3 would be a PlayStation Plus game or a contender for a PS Plus game, and it just hasn't happened. I'm really shocked that it hasn't, honestly. $15 is a good price for this game. You're getting a really, really good first-person co-op game to play with your friends. It's a first-person shooter co-op game, I should say. The entire mechanic around this is it combines like elements from, standard RPG type games, like Skyrim, for example, but puts it into a shooter style game. Then it takes a bunch of stuff from Destiny and Diablo about loot and collecting loot and things like that, and mashes it all together with this kind of interesting and comedic story. The Borderlands franchise has always been great. I personally didn't enjoy the third one as much as the first and second, but I think it was just because I'd played probably enough Borderlands. That's not a reflection on the game being bad or anything. It's just a reflection on me probably getting a bit tired or fatigued with the franchise as a whole. Still a great one, and I'll still recommend it to people as well. This is a really new one. Doom Eternal came out at the beginning of 2020. It's got a PS4 and a PS5 edition in here as well for 15 bucks. Doom is basically like a really fast-paced, kinetic, super gory first-person shooter. This is an old school game that has been like brought back into the modern world with the new style Doom games. Doom Eternal is a very good game. It reviewed exceptionally well. It plays exceptionally well as well. I don't know if that made sense. And you're getting 2 versions of the game with this, so it's a really decent deal, honestly, if you're looking to pick up something like a really decent first-person shooter. It has a multiplayer component in there too, which I played a little bit of when it launched. I don't know how it is now a year later though. But it's a newish game, and that's the good thing about this, is like a lot of these things are newish games. Watch Dogs Legion is another newish game, probably one that is a little bit harder for me to recommend to people because it wasn't very good. Watch Dogs 2 was a far superior game to this one. They removed the protagonist, they put you in London, which is not a bad thing, but there was just a few changes in this that just weren't quite good, some janky missions in there as well. 15 bucks though, you're getting 2 SKUs of the game, the PS4 and the PS5, I mean 2 platinums if you're a trophy hunter. It's an open world action game. I would say probably go for like an Assassin's Creed or something before this one, although this is a newer game, so if you're looking for a more modern game to play, that's here. But in terms of action adventure games, I would say stick to your Assassin's Creeds before this one. Speaking of which, Assassin's Creed Origins Deluxe Edition is $13.99. Really, really solid price for this one. Origins, I think, is probably better than Odyssey. This one's set in Egypt rather than in Rome, to climb the pyramids, do all that sort of stuff. It's kind of everything I've already talked about Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. Really solid action adventure game with some very light RPG mechanics in there as well. Longevity wise though, for 15 bucks, you're literally getting like 80 to 90 hours worth of playtime in here, especially if you go for the platinum trophies in these games. They are huge worlds, which I mean can be a great thing if you're a penny pincher and you're not looking to buy a heap of new games. It can be a nightmare if you're just a guy who wants to play every game on the block. If you're picking it up this many years after though, I imagine you're probably the penny pincher type. I'm including this in here because some people may have missed it. It's 15 bucks for Star Wars Rogue Squadrons. This one here came out on PlayStation Plus earlier in the year. I think it came out on the PS4 and PSVR last year. basically a Starship Fighter style Star Wars game. It didn't do very well because I think it's a kind of niche. Star Wars is already kind of nichey, and this is more of a niche on a niche. Plus, it was really promoted heavily as VR, which is a cool thing. Having a game like this completely playable in VR. Don't get me wrong, that is stunning, but the problem is not many people have PSVR, and not many people who have PSVR are even prepared to set up their VR headsets anymore, which is it's a whole other thing. I am definitely a victim to that as well. But Star Wars Rogue Squadrons here, decent enough price for this one. A lot of you guys have probably already got it for free with PlayStation Plus, but it's here if you want it. Metro Exodus Gold Edition. This one shocks me that it's $11.99. This one's cheaper than a lot of the stuff we've already talked about. And this is a very new game. Came out at the very end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. You're getting both a PS4 and a PS5 version of this. Really, really fun first-person game set in Russia after a nuclear attack or a nuclear apocalypse, basically, and you're kind of sent underground. This is the third game in the franchise, I believe, so there is a little bit of playing that you might need to do if you want to understand the entire story, but you can definitely jump into this one without that. This one here, it's a combination of like survival action, I would say. You're fighting off mutants and monsters as well as fighting off like enemies. I could have taken or left the monsters, honestly. I think the game actually works really well as just a solid survival game, but I do really enjoy survival horror games as well. So for me, that's kind of where my affinities lie, and that's probably why I had a particular preference over it. But it's a great game, and for this price, this is an absolute steal. The Surge 2 is another one that's a really great price. A AA Souls-like game, but instead of being fantasy, it's sci-fi. The Surge franchise has been like a really surprising one to me because it kind of came out of nowhere from a relatively unknown publisher and developer and kind of made a name for itself in this space, carving out something different. It kind of makes me wonder what FromSoft would do with a more sci-fi version of Souls rather than their fantasy version. This is kind of that. It's not, the world's not like as messed up as it is in the Souls games. It's still pretty messed up, but it's different kind of messed up. So I think this one's definitely worth a check out. If you're looking for like a good Souls game to play at a budget price, apart from the actual Souls games, which are discounted at the moment, this is a good one to check out. Wolfenstein 2 is another one that's discounted, the Digital Deluxe Edition for $11.99. It makes me think that like the standard edition of the game should be like $7 at this point, but of course that's not discounted on this sale. If you're a trophy hunter who really likes hard platinums, this is one of the hardest platinums on the PlayStation 4 because of the trophy for finishing the game on the hardest difficulty without dying with the permadeath thing. It is insane. It's not something that I would ever do in my life because I am not that sadistic. But if you're a really hardcore trophy hunter who wants to prove themselves, this is a great way for you to do it. That aside though, if you're just a gamer playing games, $10 or $12 I should say for this game here, you're getting an awesome first-person action game here, similar to Doom in terms of gore and things like that. Slower gameplay though, but super fun game. Wolfenstein obviously is one of the old school OGs, and Machine Games brought it back over the last sort of 5-6 years through the PS4 era in a big way, and they've done some great things with this franchise, so highly recommend this one as well. There you go. There is a bunch of games for $15. We are going to be looking at $10 games tomorrow. I should probably, spoiler alert, I guess, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below which games you've picked up from this sale, and let me know which other retailers you'd like to see videos from. I would love to hear in the comments down below from you guys. Leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Hello again, Patreon, you beautiful bastards. Thank you to each and every one of the folks over here on the right hand side for supporting me over on Patreon or as a YouTube channel member this month. Each and every one of you folks keeps the channel running. If you too want to be an absolute legend like these guys over here, you can support me on Patreon. Use the link in the description down below. Giving only $1 helps out this channel. So if you want to support even further, you can do that. You can also become a channel member down below as well by hitting the join channel button, and you get access to cool emotes and the logo next to your name showing that you're a supporter. Thank you all so very much for supporting the channel.